here's some things that I think about. Weight cutting. Weight cutting is a giant issue. When you see all this work that's being put in by USADA to make sure that people aren't taking things to the point where someone like you, who's taking something that's not a performance enhancer, gets suspended for a year, and the idea is that you're supposed to be protecting fighters from someone who's doing something that's dangerous, right? That's the take behind it, the cheating, and somehow it could cause potential danger or damage to people. But what about weight cutting, man? Isn't extreme weight cutting one of the most dangerous things?
So we're going to put this on pause. I have to pee. So.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, pee.
I'm drinking this water and coffee. 1 second,
Go ahead.
guys.
Talk about weight cutting. Hey, John's going to be right back. Go right to that door, take the eggs on the light, and don't let your publicist talk you out of coming back in here. She's probably listening. Interesting. Very forthcoming with the boner pill talk. I think that's important. I mean, if anyone's going to believe him, that's the only way to really get it out there. I fucking hate weight cutting. I do. I had a conversation with Ari Emanuel about it, and I'm going to have a conversation soon with Nowitzki about it. And I just think it's the most unnecessary and dangerous aspect in fighting. The most important aspect in fighting is fighters being healthy and in shape and competing to the best of their abilities. And if there's anything that inhibits that other than not training, it's the dehydration effect of weight cutting. I think weight cutting it's terrible. And now that they can't use IVs, I'm not, obviously, again, I hate to have to say this again, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know what is the most effective method of rehydrating, but I've talked to doctors, and I guess they vary in their opinions, because some people say it's orally is the best way through drinking water slowly, but some people say it's not. Some doctors say no, IV is a far superior method, especially when it comes to rehydrating the brain, which could take as much as 72 hours. I think it's interesting that in boxing, most of the deaths have come from the lighter weight divisions, and they attribute that also to weight cutting and dehydration.
Hey, so yeah, my publicist said that I'm talking way too much, and we're going to have to end this thing.
I knew it. I knew it. She's like, you said too much about the dick pills? Mom on the dick pills?
Longer, faster, harder, Jones, really?
How much weight do you cut?
I don't really cut a lot of weight at all. I get myself down to about 220 on fight week, and then
what do you weigh right now?
Right now I'm 230, 232, 230. But I get myself down to about 220 during fight week, and then I make sure that the day of weigh-ins, I cut about 5 pounds of water.
That's nothing.
No, it's nothing. But that's a testament to just,
preparation.
Yeah, I've been doing it for so long now. I know my job is to be, to have my weight together.
When you see Conor McGregor weighing at 145 and he looks like death.
Right.
That when I see those, that's what scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
When I see people that are just clearly cutting way too much weight. Or the worst one I ever saw was Travis Lutter when he fought Anderson Silva. Travis Lutter, he had his lips were dried up and cracked, and he was shuffling to the scale. He couldn't walk. He didn't have the strength to pick his feet up and walk. He was just shuffling towards it, and he still didn't make the weight.
Yeah, it's shitty. But,
scares me the most because there's not a lot of options when it comes to weight classes. If someone's 185 and they go, man, I'm having a hard time fighting 185, then they look at you and they're like, fuck that. This is 205. That's a 20-pound jump.
Right.
20 pounds is a big jump.
It's huge. Yeah. Yeah, as far as weight cutting for me, I just, it's never really been an issue for me. I've always made weight. I've never come close to missing weight. I just think.
But aren't you lucky though that you're in the neighborhood of 205? What if you were just a little bigger, and and you're in the heavyweight division?
If I was a little bigger, then I would go to heavyweight. But a part of our job is to keep our weight under control.
Right.
If you're going to be fighting at 205, you have no business walking around at 250.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you just.
Do you think there's enough weight classes?
No, I would like there to be at least another weight class when it comes to us big boys. I would love it if there was
a 225.
Like a 225, yeah. I believe if there was a 225-pound weight class, I'd be a 2-belt holder myself.
Do you feel like that would be a better weight class for you?
I love 205. I make 205 just fine. But 225, I compete against a 225-pounder any day. You know, face a guy who's showing up fight night at 240 or whatever. I spar against heavyweights pretty much I've been doing it my whole career anyway. So it'd be great to see something that bridges that gap a little bit from 205 to 265.
Yeah, I would like to see it. I would like to see between 55 and 70, 70 and 85. There's just 15 pounds is a giant leap. 20 pounds from 85 to 205. And then, of course, 205 to heavyweight. That's a huge leap. That's 65 pounds.
That's gigantic, yeah. A lot of people are like, why don't you go up to heavyweight and try to win the belt there? I'm just like, you realize what you're asking me to do? Like, these guys are very skilled. These guys are very skilled, and they can weigh, 60 pounds more than me? That's very dangerous. But
have you thought about doing heavyweight?
I do want to challenge for the heavyweight title, but I'm waiting for the perfect opponent.
And when you do that, when you challenge for the heavyweight title, are you going to gain weight, or are you going to fight at the weight you're at?
I'll fight right around 230.
So you'll just not lose any weight at all?
Yeah, I would try to eat a lot and make sure my endurance and speed and agility is where it needs to be. And I've beaten up a lot of heavyweights, man. Only people who are at Jackson's have seen that. I've submitted a lot of heavyweights. I've slammed a lot of heavyweights. I've manhandled a lot of heavyweights, and I've done it right at the weight I am now. So I know that I'm capable. I just want to make sure that I compete against the right stylistic matchup for me when I do go to heavyweight and challenge for that title.